Hey, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of the Train Hard, Recover Smart podcast. I am your host, Thomas Flanagan. And again, if you follow me on social media, you kind of know where today's podcast is going. So today we're going to be embarking on a deeply important journey of reflection on the strategies and decisions that have shaped the world during those years of 2020 and 2021. And the imperative and why we should be proactive to build a resilience for these uncertain times ahead. You know, we've all heard the news that, you know, they're expecting another pandemic to hit starting in October of this year. And, you know, they're talking about how closures are going to happen and we're going to be told to stay home and everything's going to come back again. So as we face the potential for another pandemic, it's vital to assess the true cost of the measures that govern our lives: the mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, isolation, and the heavy cloak of fear. These strategies intended to protect us have taken a toll on our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. The heavy price of fear and isolation, the weight of consistent fear and isolation can't be overstated. Mental health crisis has surged, with anxiety and depression becoming household names. Questions arise about the intentions of those in power, and are they genuinely acting in our best interests? You know, really, I mean, if you look at the numbers in January of 2019, the rates of suicide among youth was at 49%. In December of 2021, it was more than 51%. And again, if we look at moderate to severe anxiety, the numbers from January of 2019 was at 73.5. In December of 2021, it was up to 80.16%. Now I'm getting my numbers from the mental health website, Mental Health of America. That is where I'm pulling my numbers. The article that I'm using, it's mental health and COVID. 2 years in the pandemic, mental health concerns continue to increase. So just looking at this website, again, looking at the numbers, the largest percentage of screeners take depression, anxiety screens in 2021. Depression is 32%, anxiety 20s, bipolar. I mean, it goes on and on. And then when let's see, as we go down, looking at percentage of all screeners scoring at risk elevated since 2020, August of 2020. It's mind-boggling on how they think locking us up and making us stay at home. And I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I owned a small gym in a small town. And, every time I went in there to do admin work or even just do a workout by myself, again, I'm still paying rent for that space while COVID's closed. Nobody was paying the rent for me. Nobody was paying, any of the bills for that business to be open. But again, the whole fear thing kicked in, and, the lady across the street, every time I showed up to, again, just do paperwork, and, start to build the online training programs for my clients that were at home. And she would call the cops. Or if I was in there by myself doing a workout, she would call the cops on me, and they would have to come and tell me, everything. So again, that whole fear and, turning on one another, that had a humongous impact on our lives. Now, again, I'm just bringing this up because, again, if we're going to another pandemic, we have to make smarter choices. The first time around, we thought that everything that was being done was in our best interest, and really it wasn't. You've seen the memes. COVID is a very smart virus. It's one of the smartest viruses on the planet. Again, you've seen the memes. You've heard the other podcasters talk about it, and other people come out and say it. How can COVID be bad for me in my small business, but I'm okay to go to Walmart with 300 people in it. How can how come I got to wear a mask from the door to a table in a restaurant, but as soon as I sit down, I'm okay? It doesn't make sense. So again, like I'm just trying to get into, giving you information on, helping you make better choices this time around. Again, the mask mandates, as it came out, the masks didn't do anything for us. They didn't. If you didn't have the high-end masks that the hospitals were using or first responders were using, the little cloth ones, they didn't do anything for you. As we're seeing with the vaccines were more harmful than good, isolating us, as we can see the toll that it's had on our mental health. And then the heavy cloak of fear that had us living in, that it was not safe to go outside. It wasn't safe to do anything. We have to make better choices this time around. That's why I've been talking all this week about being proactive and the power of proactivity, but we're not here to dwell in the shadows of the past. In the face of uncertainty, we can choose to be architects of our own destinies. A strong immune system forged through fitness, nutrition, and a resilient mindset can be our armor against whatever challenges lie ahead. Questioning mandates. As we navigate the landscape of mandates, it's essential to retain a discerning eye. The mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, and isolation may not always align with our personal health needs and values. It's our right to seek out diverse perspectives, stay informed, and make decisions that resonate with us. Going back and building that, immune system, never, as long as I've been alive, and that's been, I've been alive for 47 years now. Every year we get the flu. We get a flu shot. Again, if you elect to get the flu shot, you get the flu shot. But it's our choice to get it. Every year we know the flu comes around, but you don't see them, every September locking us up and telling us to wear a mask and do all this other stuff because of the flu. No. When I grew up, it was, you go to school, the first month, everybody's sick. Why? Because we all have different germs. And when I get somebody else's germs, I get sick. My body builds an immune system, fights it off, and I go back to school and I'm good for the rest of the year. So that first month is always a rough month. You're always missing a couple of days because you got the sniffles, you got a cough, you got a fever. It happens. But by forcing a vaccine or, forcing a vaccine on us that came out, have we ever had a vaccine come out right when the virus comes out? I don't think so. I don't think that's ever happened. It takes years of development to develop a solid vaccine that works, that's going to fight the disease in the long term. It doesn't just magically appear. There's certain studies and tests and everything else like that goes on. So again, when we're looking at COVID, is COVID a harmful virus? Yes, for those that don't take care of their immune system. Okay, I can tell you that. For anybody that, overweight people, they're more inclined to have worse effects from COVID. Elderly people, they can get worse effects from COVID. People with certain immune problems can have problems with COVID. I got COVID at the end of 2020. I got COVID. And I have chronic pain. I have chronic migraines. COVID hit me pretty hard for about 4 days. 4 days. I was done. It was beating the hell out of me for 4 days. I didn't get the vaccine. I'll tell you right now, I didn't get the vaccine. I went and they did this antibody infusion. They did like a blood transfusion with me. And 24 hours later, I felt good. I've had no health concerns since, but I didn't get the vaccine. I got the antibodies. Okay. There's a difference between the two. Okay. So we have to question all these things this time around. Okay. We have to look at what's best for us. All right. Unity and empowerment. Okay. Individually, we are strong. Together, we're unbreakable. Our strength lies in unity, in demanding solutions that genuinely serve us. Our governments exist to advocate for us, and it's our responsibility to hold them accountable for decisions that shape our lives. Excuse me. Think about that. The government's there for us. They're there to do things that benefit us. Okay? They're not there to do things that benefit their wallets. All right? I mean, you can go through and we could dive into the whole political realm of, what happened, who made money and everything like that off of these vaccines that came out, and who's making money off of, all the protocols and everything going into place. We can dive into that. And trust me, if you want to hear all about it, I can give you a couple of podcasts to listen to. And it all makes sense. The government is not there to put things into place to benefit themselves. They're there to do things that benefit us. Okay? That is what they're there for. So again, we need to stand together and, be proactive in building our immune system. Be proactive in wanting explanations and wanting to know exactly what is going on and what their plan is. Is it to close all the small business and only let the people that fund them be open? Then be outright about it. Okay? But we can't just let the government do things and not hold them accountable for decisions that ultimately shape the way we live. Becoming the architect of change. By becoming individuals who embody fitness, financial stability, and a growth mindset, we transcend the challenges that have defined our recent history. We lay the groundwork for a brighter future. Not only for ourselves, but for generations to come. Through these changes, we reclaim the power that seemingly slipped from our grasp. We can't continue down this road of, being complacent and not rocking the boat when need be. We got to take care of our bodies. We have to keep that growth mindset to where, we're always learning, always doing things. We can't just sit and not do anything. And being financially stable, having our own source of income. That is the way to be. You do those three things, you're going to go against the grain of everything that the government is doing to us right now. They don't want us to be fit. They don't want us to be financially stable, and they don't want us to have a growth mindset. And the reason is, if they can control us to where we can't have those three things, then we're nothing. We have to stand up. We have to put our foot down this time, and we've got to stand together. And by doing that is by working on our fitness, working on our growth mindset, working on our financial stability, getting our things right. Again, our bodies can fight off pretty much any disease out there. Any natural disease, I guess I could say, we could fight off. Because anything that's not a natural disease is a biochemical weapon, basically. It's a virus or something designed to wipe out population. But if we can build our immune system to fight off natural diseases or natural viruses, we're good. Now, I know I kind of ranted and raved on today's episode. It's kind of short, because I don't really want to dive too deep down this rabbit hole. But think about things, before I get into my closing closing thoughts. Let's just think about this. It is what, 2023. They're talking about another pandemic starting October of this year. As early as October this year, maybe as late as January of next year. It's funny. Next November is the presidential election. So, COVID kind of slipped into the background at the end of 2021. It's kind of just a thing that was just lingering around. Now, all of a sudden, 2 years later, back up in the forefront. It's kind of interesting. Again, my whole thought process with today's podcast was we have to take better care of ourselves, build a good immune system, take care of ourselves financially. Financially is kind of hard these days with the cost of everything, but you got to work on it. And having a growth mindset, always asking that question. When I was on active duty, I always ask why. Why? I want to know why. Why am I doing this? Why are we doing that? It wasn't that I was saying I wasn't going to do it. I just wanted to understand the thought process behind on why. So this time around, when we go to those, when they start mandating the masks and mandating us to stay home and mandating, vaccines, why? Didn't work the first time. Nope, didn't work the first time. It made us weaker the first time around. So why are we going to do it again? There's always a better way to do something. So my closing thoughts. We're not passive participants in our own lives. We're active architects of our futures. We have the power to shape a world that values health, individual empowerment, and unity. By embracing proactivity, we shatter the chains of fear and mandates. Okay. Let me go back over. Let me read that. We have the power to shape a world that values health, individual empowerment, and unity. By embracing proactivity, we shatter the chains of fear and mandates. As you think about that, again, united we stand, divided we fall. And that's kind of where we stand right now. The country's divided. And that's the way they want us. They want us divided because if we stand together, they don't have a chance to defeat us. So the whole thing with the Train Hard, Recover Smart podcast and everything else that I do, I do this because I want to share in what experiences I've had. I do this because I want you to make the same mistakes I did. I don't want to see somebody struggle the way I've struggled. Okay. That is why I do this. I get on here and I sit down in my office while the dog runs around behind me. And I put this together. Every Sunday I sit down, I pick a topic for the week, and I start the week off with a blog. I do three posts about it, and then I do a podcast to sum up the week. This way here, I'm giving out a lot of information on one topic, and I'm not just dropping little bits here and there about one. I'm not talking about 5 different things anymore. I've kind of gone to this format. And it kind of works. I kind of like it. I get out a lot of information. I cover a very big topic, and I can break it up into little pieces. So again, we have to really be proactive in our health, in our mindset. We have to take care of ourselves. And, for me, one of my biggest struggles has always been that I've always put everybody before me. And I've always taken the back seat to everything. And now I'm reaping those bad choices. As I've told you, I live in chronic pain, chronic migraines. I have very difficult days. I have very difficult months. But every day I get up and I have a purpose. Okay. My purpose is, a lot of people, they get on me. They're like, "Oh, you're an entrepreneur. You have to be up at 5:30 in the morning and you got to start working then." I can't do that. I get up 5:30. I take my meds for my migraine. I go back to bed. And then I get up around 7 o'clock and that starts my day. My whole morning from 7 o'clock until noontime is all self-care. That is breakfast, cold plunge, shower, walk. That's breakfast, cold plunge, shower, walk. So it's pretty much from 7 until about 11 when I finish my walk. That's my morning right there. Then from 11 to 12, I'll check some email. 12, I have lunch. All right. And then I go about and I get some work done. I do some social media posts. I usually write up my post the night before, and then I go about my business. That's the only way I can go. It's the only way I can function. It's the way I got to do it. But I take care of me first. Take care of me first. I front load myself in the mornings, and then I start working on everybody else in the afternoons. By doing that, my mental health has gotten better. My physical fitness has gotten better. My chronic pain has become more manageable. Still working on that financial thing, but that's a whole nother topic. But by doing this, I build a better immune system. And I'm forging that through my fitness, through my nutrition, through my mindset. I listen to audiobooks. I do my meditation. I do my cold plunges. I do my workouts 3 to 4 days a week. I do everything I need to do to build that armor that I need to stand against anything that's going to come here in the future. And I'll be straight up and honest with you. If they come out and they mandate us to wear masks, mandate us to get a vaccination, and they mandate us to isolate, I'm not doing it. I'm going to carry on business as usual, no matter what. I will go and do what I have to do. I will get out and do what I have to do. And I'm not going to abide by it because it doesn't help. It doesn't do anything for you. Well, now that I've just I'll step off my soapbox. I just want to thank everybody for joining me in today's, powerful podcast episode, talking about the upcoming pandemic that they're talking about. Again, let us stand together, embrace our potential, and strive for a future where our well-being takes center stage. Now, again, I ask you to support the show. If you donate to the show, every dollar we raise through donations goes to a veteran organization to help out a veteran in need. And if there's any topics or anything that you want me to cover, shoot me an email, tnrfitness@tnrfit.com, or comment on any of the platforms that the podcast is on. Comment on any, send me a message on any of the social media platforms, whatever. Just get a hold of me. Send me a message and I'll cover any topic you want. So until next time, keep training hard while recovering smart. And as always, be better than you were yesterday.